Good day, everyone. This is Dr. Francois du Toit, naturopathic doctor and wellness coach. Today, I'm honored to be interviewing Josua Vorster, a dear friend of mine and fellow triathlete. Welcome, Joshua.
Thank you very much. It's an honor for me to be on the podcast.
It's a
Very
pleasure
nice.
for me also. This is a nice change in kind of like direction for the podcast channel to be able to speak to someone that is an active triathlete as well as a lot younger than a lot of the people that I generally
Yes,
interview.
yes.
I'm really in a space to honor you and I look up to you a lot. I recognize in my
Awesome.
journey in terms of exercise, I I really was undisciplined and muddled with when it came to exercise. And I really recognized that if I kind of like had the type of kind of like coaching and support that you've emulated, I would have I kind of like I had more kind of like exceptional experiences in my life when it came to these sort of things.
Yeah, I'm very honored for all the stuff that's happened. Especially because my dad, I'm following his footsteps. So he's been through all the stuff and he knows what works and what doesn't, and he can coach me a lot, which helps. So yeah,
That's
very,
the
very
amazing key
nice.
thing, and this is the thing I mentioned to a lot of people is that when you have the right mentors, the right coaches in your life, your life kind of takes
Mm,
this journey of exponential growth. This is
mm,
one of the reasons why I mentioned to people the best investment you can ever make is into a coach to support you. And you
yeah,
yourself are a coach, a swimming coach specifically, but I'm sure there's other areas that
yes.
you mentor people in as well.
Mm, mm. Yeah, no, it's very nice. Nice being a coach as well because being an athlete and a coach at the same time helps a lot for both ways. Because when I coach the swimmers or the triathletes or wherever I coach, I
Yes.
know what they're going through. So I know the struggles. I know when they're doing a hard set, how it's more mentally tough than physically tough in a set. And that your mind plays a big, big role in training and racing,
Yeah.
especially. There's people that do better in training than in the races. And yeah, as a coach, I
Sure.
learned that now. So yeah.
Yeah, and to put all those things together, it's really a mindset and a like mental journey. I can
Mm,
relate to that a lot. But before we jump in deeper, I'd love to read out your bio to our audience so that they can get to know you better. Just gonna pop
yeah.
that up. So Joshua is a 19-year-old multi-talented triathlete and he qualified for 6 different sports this year to go to the South African SA Champs representing in Egypt, if I'm correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Um, at two of them, in terms of the disciplines, triathlon and biathlon, he got silver and
Mm,
gold, and is now
mm,
in the SA team for both events to take part at World Champs in Egypt. And he's also a part-time student and part-time swimming coach here in George, which is a town in the heart of the beautiful Garden Route in the Western Cape. So tell me a bit about how you kind of like came to the point where you wanted to compete at this exceptional level that you've already had some
mm.
amazing achievements in.
Sure. Well, it started when I was very, very young. So with triathlon, I started when I was as young as I can remember, maybe 8 years old, six even, because my dad was a triathlete. He raced for South Africa. He was a Springbok athlete, and he brought triathlon to Eden. There wasn't triathlons here, so he started Eden Triathlon here,
Oh, yes.
and when he started with the little ones, the young ones, and then it grew to the bigger ones, and now he stepped away. So now other people took over there. Um, and I just followed, his footsteps. He mentored me to start doing triathlon. And my first essays, you're only allowed to go to essay champs and national champs when you're, I think, 12 years old for triathlon. And that's the first time I went. And I went every single year afterwards to try and stay dedicated. But I also did other sports. As you know, as a triathlete, you have to swim a lot. Swimming is very
Yes.
important, and you can't swim 2 to 3 times a week. It's not enough. If you want to compete at, you know, world champs level, Olympic level, national level, you have to swim a lot. So naturally,
Mm.
I kept swimming. And surprisingly enough, I did very well with breaststroke, which has nothing to do with freestyle.
Oh
Um,
wow, yeah.
and one of those sports that you mentioned that I went to nationals with this year was swimming. And I qualified with my breaststroke, not with my freestyle. So I qualified with
Wow.
my 100-meter breaststroke. And yeah, I went there, I competed. I did not do as well as one would hope, but I mean, I'm a part-time swimmer. It's not my main sport. It's one of the three
Yes.
disciplines in triathlon, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, but the one thing that I realized is I focused too much on too many things. Um, so it's the breaststroke was nice and I competed for nationals. I'm very happy that I did it, but now I realize I'm stepping away from the breaststroke. I'm giving it a bit of a break. Because there's no way you can do running, swimming, cycling, and then if you want to do the laser run, shooting and fencing, and then breaststroke. Because I mean, there's people that train breaststroke 6, 7, 8 times a week, and yeah, there's just no space for it.
It is
Um,
so
yeah.
good to kind of like on that journey to see how you refine and prioritize certain things, so that you know you have a specific goal in mind, and that leads also to
Mm,
like you're excelling in that area, and that keeps that momentum going when you're achieving the results because you've kind of like focused in, you've narrowed down on the area that you're passionate about.
yeah, and speaking of narrowing it down, I started narrowing it down now after I qualified for a lot of sports this year. I realized what my talents are and what I'm having fun in, because you can't just do
Yeah,
what your talent if you don't have fun in it, then there's no point in doing sport if you don't have fun.
I
So
firmly believe the
I
same.
yeah, I agree, and that's why I realized the triathlon and the pentathlon is the two that I want to keep doing. So yeah.
That's amazing. And,
Mm,
this is something that I'm also kind of reflecting on. I'm not discouraging people from, playing around in different sports and in different
mm,
exercises, because in that journey, as you, I think, are explaining, you discover your passion, you discover what you're excelling in. Eventually, then you kind of like then decide to focus in on certain areas so that you can excel in those areas, and that and then because if you're just going to be completely broad spectrum, you're never going to necessarily get some measurable improvements or measurable results, or maybe you know in the end get a spot on the podium in the middle, and then that kind of like really feeds into the like negative mindsets, like am I
mm,
doing enough, I'm not really achieving, and as we were talking just like pre-interview, how big the mindset or the mentality is. Whatever, if it's true or not doesn't matter, but if that's the perception you're starting to feel because maybe kind of like delving into too many different sports, or life is becoming too hectic, there's so many different factors at play, it starts to really kind of like erode your self-confidence, and that's not something we want for
mm.
any person that's any athlete, any human being actually.
Yeah, no, definitely. Um, Especially like speaking of that mindset thing, I realized in triathlon, it's such a big role because at the end,
Mm.
the running, you have to, you know, run times that you run without even cycling or swimming beforehand, which is a mental thing, to think you're saying to yourself, you're tired now because you swam 800 meters and you cycled 20 kilometers. Now you have to run a 5K as your PB without even doing those disciplines beforehand. So yeah, yeah.
And it also goes to show the for me the human body is, it's such a miraculous organism that can do so much when we don't put limiters on it, limiters in our mindset. Um,
Mm,
and so it is amazing to see that these things come together. And you mentioned something really important, I think, for our audience, is that, maintaining that enjoyment in the sport, because that feeds into the mindset. And actually,
mm,
it also leads into the peak performance. I'm a student of peak performance research, or the degrees that are being now taught relating to this, and so much of it just relates to like aligning passion with purpose, but
mm,
also then getting to a flow state. Peak performance and flow states is synonymous with each other.
mm,
But that is also the sense of like I'm at ease, I'm enjoying it, I'm in the moment, I feel my best, I think my best. And
mm,
this is also why it's important for people to start to kind of like think about what they really enjoy doing. And then obviously that also includes never to remove perseverance and grit and having challenges and all of that. But as you notice that journey over the years, you start recognizing, there's more moments of enjoyment or pleasure than like say discouragement.
mm,
But
mm,
I'm thinking about, and you can also steer us in a different direction. But I'm interested to know. I'm assuming that you've also had setbacks in your career as a triathlete. Um,
mm.
are there any particular ones you feel you want to share with the audience? Maybe a moment where you felt like this whole sport, triathlons and all these different sports, it's just really overwhelming, and I feel like I'm having maybe something like a mental breakdown. Can you share maybe a
Mm.
moment like that in your life and how you overcame that?
Yeah, definitely. So for me, as a youngster, like I always wanted to get a medal at national levels with triathlon. And the first year I did triathlon, I made the top 10. I came 10th place, which I was very happy with. And then the year after, I
Wow.
went ninth. Then I went seventh. And then the year after, I went fifth. And then the year after that, I went fourth. And then I was like, okay, the year after that, I can finally get my medal. And then I went from fourth place all the way to either sixth or seventh place. And that's when was like, yo, I don't know if I want to do this sport anymore because I've been going
Uh,
faster every year. My placement's been going down. And the problem that I faced is I compared myself to Olympians and I was like, I can't even do half what they're doing in the time that it's like. So if they do a 10 kilometer in 30 minutes, I can't even do a 5 kilometer in 15 minutes. Now I have to do a 10 in 30 minutes. So I was looking, at Olympic levels, which was a mistake in my books. And then, as I said, I came sixth or seventh at a national level and I wanted to take a little bit of a break. And I did. I focused on breaststroke, and that was the year where I started doing good with breaststroke, and I qualified with national level. And then when I qualified, because I had a dream board to go to swimming to nationals, and when I qualified, I was like, okay, now that I qualified with this one sport that was very hard, I want to see how many sports I can go to nationals with. And I think that's where my mentality went from, "Oh, man, I didn't medal, I did bad this year," to let's see how good I can do and change that into something very good. And that's when I started going to nationals with all these sports. And I still came fourth at triathlon essays this year, which is still an improvement from sixth or seventh, but I didn't medal and I was still very happy because I went faster by I think 30 seconds in my time or a minute or something, and um, I was very happy with it. But before that, it was mentally very tough, man. I struggled, yeah.
Thank you for sharing that with our audience. And I reflect and you say like, and after all of these years, I only still came fourth. And I think about my average listener is generally about 40, 50 years old. Generally,
Mm,
the woman at home, married with kids, and they're like, I'll never achieve that. It's like it's so far off my radar. Um, and it's like, and I'm even reflecting as with having a stronger comparison in terms of my triathlon journey, which I've shared online on my YouTube channel. If people want to come and watch, it was a real journey of growth from real obstacles.
mm,
I even like reflect and relations like that's amazing. That's really something to be proud of. And I
mm,
also recognize on that journey, like I feel like as athletes, especially athletes, we place so much pressure on ourselves. Um, and we all definitely fall into that, like let's say that sort of a trap to compare ourselves to other people, and it can be very helpful because it's that's what would it be if it's not
yeah,
competition? There is someone, I'm now in fourth place, and yes, I want to beat the person
exactly.
in third place. It's that continuous, like a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit
Hmm.
better.
Mm,
But then also losing sight of, it's like, am I enjoying what I'm doing, and am I kind of like in the moment thankful, gratitude
mm,
for
mm,
what I am able to achieve. And it's like, ah, yes, I recognize it's better than I am better at least than I was yesterday, if you want to take it really short spectrum, but I'm definitely
yeah.
so much better than I was a year ago. And the longer and the more uplifting that that vision is,
Mm,
the more it propels you and helps to kind of like protect you on your journey to have that positive, well, continuously have a positive mindset.
yeah, definitely. What I started realizing, the reason why I did bad at nationals is because I didn't enjoy the sport anymore. I hated cycling. I basically never cycled before nationals. I hated it because I had to wake up at 4:30 to be at cycling at 5, and then I cycle from 5 to 7, and I just didn't like it at all. And my
Mm.
swimming, I was focusing on breaststroke, so my freestyle wasn't getting faster, it was getting slower. So I struggled with my freestyle. And then running is always hard, even if you're fit, you know. If if you want to go faster with running, you're still gonna get tired. If you're not tired, then you don't go faster, you know. So yeah, that's what I realized is I didn't enjoy the sport anymore, and I changed my mindset. And now I love running and swimming. I Every Tuesday I do track, and I love doing track every Tuesday. It's my favorite part of the week. Yeah.
I'm so glad, you push through, and this is something that I want to reflect on for people. You'll always reach a point, especially if you're on that growth path. Most of my listeners are people that have a mindset that they want to continuously grow, continuously evolve, and continuously improve their mindset. And on that journey, you do face the obstacles and the moments like, stuff this is too hard, or it's like this is too challenging. I just want to, because we kind of like, people like that are generally um, quite hard on themselves in terms of the drivenness to achieve certain goals. And it can really trip you up if you're not grounded in a sense of like, I like I'm grateful that I can compete at this level. I'm grateful that I have a healthy body. I'm grateful for
Mm,
the support structure that is surround me. And this is something I want to reflect on for everyone. It's like we are all also a result of our environment. And myself, I am exceptionally grateful to your father, because he is
mm,
actually the mentor that really helped me to not trip up on the journey of competing in the half Ironman races, because I was such a noob. I was such a kind of like easy come, easy go. It's like, yeah, I can just do this and do whatever. And it's like everything will come. I was even like into the last moment didn't think about like it's so much more, it's important to do actual road cycling on a road cycle instead of like just going to the gym and doing spinning classes. I didn't even think about
yes.
that until your father mentioned it to me. And it's so great. I'm so grateful because even this, like the purpose of these recordings for is for people so that they don't need to face the same obstacles and challenges that we faced.
Mm,
So
mm,
they can, get to the point like you've just described. You've came to the point like, yes, I'm enjoying it. I'm passionate about it. I
mm,
love what my body is capable of doing, and it's like I'm not like in kind of like just like my mindset is always like, oh, what is the next goal? What is the next record I want to break? I'm in the moment. I'm enjoying what my body is capable of doing.
mm.
And
No,
I'm sure, and I'm
definitely.
assuming now, but you can correct me. I'm sure you get to a point where you're not consistently like obsessing about your time, like your watch anymore. It's because you're
Mm.
there to enjoy.
Yeah, exactly. No, I
Because
saw
a
something.
lot of runners fall in that. It's like if I
Oh,
didn't record
100%.
it, if it's not on Strava, it doesn't exist, and they forget
Yes,
to just
yes, yes.
enjoy what they're doing.
Exactly, exactly. And not just enjoying it, but also going faster. Like there's people that are too
Yeah.
obsessed with their watches. I actually saw a shorts this week about someone. He ran a marathon, and the last 5 kilometers of the marathon, he took his watch off and he put it in his like he held it in his hand, and he started running, and he ran fast. He won the race, like he PB'd. He went, his marathon time, I think, was 2 hours and 14 minutes, which was the record for the track. And it's because he took his watch off for the last 5 kilometers so that his mind doesn't
Yeah.
play with him. So he can go his hardest that he
Yeah.
wants, that he can go. Because otherwise, if you look at your watch and you're like, oh, this is too fast. I can't go this fast. I know I can't make it. But if you take the watch off and you
Yeah.
run faster then you know you can. You don't even know it yet, you know. So
Yes,
it's
that's
it's a
such a powerful
it's a bad thing.
example. And in essence, what happened is that we made this tool that was supposed to support us in our training a
Yeah,
mental barrier, a mental obstacle that's actually limiting us and actually keeping us back.
yeah. Um,
Hmm.
and Strava actually put out a statistic. They said that there are more people in 2024 that compete in running races, but there are less people that do running in 2024 than a few years back. So there's more
Whoa.
people doing
Can
races,
you,
but less people
uh-huh.
running in total.
Oh,
So people
that's
like the
interesting.
feeling of racing with their
Yes.
watch and doing a PB and everything. So there's a
Oh,
lot more competitive people, but the average person doesn't run as much as they used to back in the day, which is very interesting.
yeah. That is an
And it's
interesting thing.
because it's that Strava thing is a big thing as well. I mean, if you want to run and you compare your times to everyone else around you and stuff, and you also just look at your own statistics, and if you didn't reach that goal, your run wasn't good. But you don't listen to your body. If your body had, like, felt good and everything, you had a good run. Even if your time was slow, if you felt good, it was a good run. Why does your time have to reflect if it was a good or bad run? You know?
Yeah, yeah. Because you're relying a lot more, or you're coming to understand it's like I have my experience,
Mm,
and as subjective as it is, it's your experience, and you can
mm,
gauge for yourself. It's like I'm happy with where I'm at. I'm present. I'm enjoying this, and yeah, there's so much more positive things to focus in on. Now that you even mentioned this, the journey that I've been on, I was definitely obsessed on my times and my Strava records, my Strava history on
yeah.
competing and fine tuning my exercise program, all of that. Um,
Mm,
this was now especially in 2022 when it was the first time I competed in the half Ironman,
mm,
and I reflected now on this year when I'm competing in the half Ironman again in November. It feels like it's been weeks to months where I barely check my Strava at all. It's like I just don't care.
mm,
I'm
mm,
following my
mm,
training program. I'm experimenting with different forms of training. I'm even going into calisthenics now just to kind of like bring in some rest time.
yeah.
It's and also because I had a tremendous setback. This is a funny story. I
Yeah.
went to yes, you mentioning people do so well and they kind of like focus on the race and not so much necessarily
Yeah.
running. So maybe they're not even training, but I think the reason is because we really crave community and we really do crave that kind of like that group spirit that propels. And this is why I
Mm,
encourage people like get a training buddy or a running partner or join a running
yes.
club or like because then that community support is part of your like lifestyle or let's say during the build up
Mm,
before a race and there's like everything is better and you're more consistent. You're not in that trap. It's like,
mm,
oh wait, it's 1 week away from the race and I kill myself training
mm,
and
mm,
kill
mm,
myself in the race. It's not really kind to the
yeah.
body. But I'm sidetracking myself. So I'm part of a running club. I've been for many years. And maybe it was a month and a half ago, I went to the time trial, 5 kilometer time trial race. And when I was running, my shoes were making this incredibly loud clapping sound, like a clap, 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 clap. And
Mm,
I was like, what's up with my shoes? And I feel good. I'm running the same speeds that I generally run. And and when I was finished with the race, my friend that was next to me that I was running with, he actually said, like, I noticed that sound. What's up with your shoes? What's up with that? It's like, I don't know. And I went
yeah.
home, and when I took my shoes off, I noticed I didn't put in my inner soles. I had taken them out and swapped them between shoes and the inner soles that I need to wear with those shoes because they're road racing shoes are
Yeah.
exceptionally important because otherwise they're so flat and so thin. It's like you just have this
Mm,
incredibly hard impact. And I actually injured both of my Achilles tendons, especially on the
sure.
left. And I was kind of like out
Sure.
for running for almost a month. Um, then I transitioned to instead like jogging barefoot in the garden. So that I
Mm,
can ease myself into this recovery. And I recognize, and I wouldn't have had this like a mindset if it wasn't having competed in these sports before, like the half Ironman before, recognizing it's like injuries can be part of the journey. And I was really hard on myself. It's like, why is this happening? Why is my body
yeah.
failing me? And this year, I'm just like, thank you, body. I could have run to this point. This happened.
Mm,
Life happens.
mm,
Mistakes happen. Um, and I'm just going to ease myself into this recovery. I'm not going to stress about it, even though it's like at that point 3 months away from the race. Now it's 2 months away from the half Ironman. I'm going to let my body
mm,
recover and rest and support and do everything else that I enjoy doing. For me, being in the garden barefoot, any form of
mm.
exercise is already such
Yeah,
joy, it's such pleasure.
yeah,
And I
sure.
praise God that I could do the time trial again yesterday, and my times are improving. And it's like that wouldn't have happened as well if I was like, no, screw my body, screw this
Mm,
injury. I'm just going to keep training, and I'm going to make up for lost time. My Achilles would probably have
mm,
torn, or I don't know what have happened to my body,
yeah,
and I wouldn't be at this place
mm,
where I feel like I'm not have just caught up. I'm still improving, even though like for a month I was barely running or doing a lot of the trainings that I
mm,
wanted to do.
yeah. No, it's amazing story that you just told us. It's crazy. Um, if you don't mind sharing, what was your 5K time trial time that you ran now? Or do you want to keep it a secret?
It was just under 21.
Okay, that's very good. That's very nice.
Thank you.
Where do you run the 5K? Where is it?
It's at an area just across the what do you call it, the Women's Army College, a Plantation Road.
Oh
They
wow.
do a loop there. Yeah, I do a loop there in what's it called? It's Heather Lynn's, I believe. Yeah.
Netherlands. Yes, yes,
Yes,
yes,
yes,
yes.
yes.
Cool. That's very nice. I want to go back a little bit to what you said when you started doing calisthenics. Um, funny story enough, I don't know if you know this, but if you don't, it's gonna blow your mind. So the
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Olympics just happened, like a few weeks ago, and the 50-meter freestyle is one of the most important, and like everyone watches that race for freestyle now. So it's just one length freestyle as fast as you can. And the guy that won
No
the
breath.
50-meter freestyle,
Probably
yeah, no
almost
breath.
nearly on.
Yes, yes, that's insane. But that guy that came first, he stopped swimming for 9 months. Okay, so like let's say about like 2 year or like a year ago, he stopped swimming for 9 months and he just did calisthenics for 9 months straight. He did calisthenics 9 times a week, and he stopped 9 months of swimming, and then he brought swimming a little bit back, and he started swimming 3 to 4 times a week. So to put it in perspective, the most Olympians train 9 to 11 times a week, almost 2 times a day or 2 times a day. And
Yeah.
he stopped swimming completely. His Olympics was coming up in a bit, and he stopped swimming and he just did calisthenics, and then he started swimming 3 to 4 times a week for only about 2 to 3 kilometers per session, which is nothing for swimmers. And he came first in the 50-meter freestyle, and he destroyed everyone, and he came first, and that opened something for all the swimmers. You know, like it's insane. No one has done that before ever, which is crazy.
It is completely mind blowing. I'm so glad you put it in perspective. In fact, it was because of his achievement that I saw on Instagram reel that I've been inspired to actually delve into calisthenics. So I
Mm,
watched the same history without as much as the
yeah.
context that you also now shared with me. And
Mm,
it is so powerful to recognize is that for so much of like us in the, let's say, the really convenient lifestyles that we live, we don't really access so much of these functional movements that are really supportive
mm,
for the body. And they are the foundations that actually really build in terms of an excellent like physical health and strength.
mm. Yeah, definitely. I actually started doing Pilates in the mornings, just so that my body, can get a little bit of a rest, you know.
Yeah, it's a very, very powerful recovery, but also so important. I think almost every single person,
So
if they
I'm
are
reconnecting.
not doing some form of like, I want to almost say, supportive exercises like either Pilates or yoga, or like I'm talking
Mm,
calisthenics, they are really
yeah.
not going to be able to sustainably support their bodies to be able to exercise in a healthy, productive way, especially because a lot of those forms of
Mm,
exercise are really slow and focused on the breath and focused on like the mind body connection so that you're in touch with your body. Get to learn your body and your
yeah.
weak spots. It's like, oh yeah, I need to actually focus in on that area. And this is something I think I should share with. I see a lot of people as a massage therapist with so many different sorts of injuries. And I just had this aha moment this last week. It's like generally my right hip gets more sore. And I'm just like, I never knew why. And then I started reflecting with,
mm,
especially doing also doing Pilates now once a week, that
mm,
it's because of an old injury that I partially tore my right Achilles, and I'm sure that all my
mm,
weights and muscle strength shifted over to the left as a compensation. So everything on the left
mm,
kind of like had just been working a lot harder for so long.
yeah,
And with that imbalance, it's like, yes, even though the problem is on the right hip, it's actually the left hip and the left glute that's kind of like needing the support. And I recognize it's not really
yes,
supporting or stabilizing my hips. And I wouldn't have known that if
mm,
it wasn't for Pilates. And now I can focus in on that weakness. And already
mm.
it's like I found a shift in my back pain. Just from that, just like let's say that awareness of what is happening to my body.
Yeah, definitely. I also realized when I get a minor injury, like I hurt my calf or something for running too hard or not warming up properly, then if I keep running that week, my other calf is gonna get sore because I'm putting a lot of strain because we're mostly using the other part of my leg, the other side. And I realized that you need to take, your rest day and stuff. Otherwise, you're gonna make both of them sore, because the one sore now you're putting all your what's the word in English? Kraft, like your strength
Yeah,
into
yeah.
the one side. So yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, that's so good to be that aware of your body. It's like it is this tremendously interconnected system. And all these systems
Mm,
are supporting each other. And if you're, like you mentioned, you're actually mindful to say, like, yes, I've got an injury, or I have a setback in my body now, or just a spasm, whatever it is,
mm,
by stopping and resting, you are supporting that pillar, because there's so many support structures that can that keeps that whole energy going. That if you don't, if you ignore that, it's like a domino effect. You're going to damage and injure so many other systems that have always been in the background supporting you, that we're never
mm,
really grateful for. And you find like it actually, by not stopping and resting and recovering or being kind to your body, you actually damage 10 or 20 more systems of your body,
mm,
by not having that awareness.
definitely. Yeah,
But I
that's it.
wanted to shift the conversation to something that you shared with me.
Yes,
You're a gamer, and
yes,
I mentioned to you, and I think most of my audience might not
yes,
be aware of it, that I'm also an avid gamer. I really, really, I
yes.
grew up with so many different LAN games. Those are, computer connected games, mostly first person shooters,
Sure,
and I really
sure.
excelled at them. I really did well, and I kind of like reflect back. It's like, for me, because my personality was of the source, like I'm not, let's say, not so much naturally disciplined, easy
Mm,
come easy go, like I mentioned. I kind of like got caught up in the gaming world, and I almost never saw the sun. I never saw the sun. I never went outside, and almost never exercised
yeah,
for a long period in my life. So I was really imbalanced in
yeah,
that direction. And it seems like you found a good balance, because I think a lot of people have the stereotypical picture of what a gamer is, and you're definitely not that. Could you share a
yeah,
bit about could you share a bit about like how you found that balance, and maybe to also encourage our audience,
mm,
especially your audience, in terms of like balancing, let's say, their gaming life or their gaming careers, because you can
yeah,
build a very successful career from gaming. I'm surprised by
mm,
how many successful, you could say, let's say it's almost like a solo entrepreneur. It's like it's actual
yeah,
profession that the gamers are
yeah.
making. But maybe just balancing that with like still going outside, still exercising, still having a healthy body. Could you share a bit about your experiences with that?
Well, I think you need to find another passion outside of the house that you can pursue as well, because I like
Mm,
training too much that I can't skip training. That's what I realized. So you need to find something, even if it is something like just walking in the woods, in the mountains or something, or finding something like waking up and doing Pilates, because I love gaming, but I wouldn't give up sport for gaming and I wouldn't give up gaming for sport. I love both of them too much. So you need to find
mm,
something that's gonna give you the same energy as gaming, because I realized that I love gaming. I would game like in the mornings and I love it. I'll call with my friends and everything and we'll game. And then I'm like, okay, guys, I need to go. It's training. I have to go train now. And I'm excited for training. I'm not sad that I have to give up gaming. And I'm also not sad that I have to go train now because I found the balance between both of them. So
Mm,
find something that you enjoy. And what I realized is it's also the friends that I do the stuff together because I game with friends, I do sport with friends. So I'm excited to go to swimming in the afternoons because my friends are going to be there, and then I enjoy it with them. So if you want to, let's say, start gymming or start doing Pilates, get yourself a buddy, a friend that you want to go with and tell them, yo, do you want to try this with me? Let's see if we like it. If we don't, we don't. We try something else. And then you can do that as well. So you have to find something else that you enjoy just as much as gaming. So yeah.
that, that's so inspiring. And I'd also reflect like I would have never came in terms of like let's say discovering the enjoyment of exercise and let's say being outdoors and now especially a lot of my running is more trail running. I would have never
Mm,
been on that path of discovery if it wasn't for the community of runners that kind of like, try this and this and this. And then I went from road running to
mm,
trail running, and I've never looked back since. And the trail running community, especially in this area in George, is so, so phenomenal, taking me out places I would have never gone before and enjoying the support and it's like rediscovering nature as a form of medicine for me. It's like it's really just grown over the
mm,
years. And I thought to share this. What shifted for me, I'm really grateful in
mm,
my journey in terms of like let's say I say we're using the word exercise a lot, but I don't even like using the word exercise. I say let's reframe it as movement as medicine. Anything
mm,
that you enjoy doing as movement, continuously do it, and it will build into so much. And I'm grateful that I grew up in the gym. I'm grateful that I um, um, did exceptionally well in running, more sprinting. I've been hiking with friends for years and years and years, multi-day hikes, like 5, 6, 7 day hikes where you carry everything you need, like the tents and the food, and it's like really hectic
sure.
areas that we hiked in the wild coast up in the I think that's a Transkei
Mm, mm,
areas. And we and I kind of like reflected back so much of those experiences. All that I saw was the spot in front of my feet.
mm,
I was so like focused on like I just have to do this, get this done. It's like hard, maybe, or I'm very
mm,
focused. Let's say goal orientated. That all I see is this spot in front of my
mm,
feet. And I reflect
mm,
back, it's like when I look at the photos that the people took over all those different things we competed in or did, it's like it's every picture is just like a masterpiece. And I think like
mm, mm,
I didn't
mm.
see that. So much of those moments, every moment I could look up and it's the best picture in the world, the best masterpiece in the
Yeah,
world.
yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
look up and think, wow, this is amazing. This is a moment.
Mm,
And also, I'm never gonna have this again. I'm never gonna relive this moment again. And now,
mm,
whenever I do any sport, so far as there's grace and kind of like a mindfulness. I'm like every moment I'm looking up and I'm enjoying the run, enjoying the cycle, enjoying the swim, whatever it might be.
mm,
And even with that mindset shift, when I am running, especially because in my mind I'm more competitive as a runner because I've been running longer. Usually, the person in
yeah,
front of me is the competition. I have to beat that guy. I have to get past, that guy.
yeah,
And when I
yeah.
started to notice, like when I'm looking up for enjoyment and I'm enjoying the environment, I'm even seeing this guy running in front of me differently. I see him as like, thank you because we're running together.
Mm,
You're a pace setter for me. Your pace is faster than mine. So I can actually look up to you. And just with that shift of like, oh, we're in this together. He's actually helping me. He's actually probably a friend of mine or at least part of the same community. And he actually
mm,
pulls me forward like a string is attached. And I
mm,
started noticing this like, I've been running better. I've been enjoying it more. It's not like that.
mm,
Like even when and I do run past a lot of those guys because that's the journey of like I'm feeling good. I can run past him. It's not like haha, I'm running past you. It's like I come past
mm,
him. It's like thank you, and I greet him. It's like I'm
mm,
honored, and I run past him. And I also recognize this can change in a moment because
mm.
I could also like lose my pace or something can go wrong, and then I recognize
Yeah,
like I'm now here and now I'm actually helping him in the same way. He can look up to
yeah.
me. I'm a pace setter for him.
Mm,
You can run in my
mm,
slipstream. So much of the cycling. Also, sometimes you can get into this mindset of what it means to be in someone's slipstream. It's
mm,
become
mm,
like a motto for my life. It's like if I can just stay in people's slipstream, I learn from them. They're helping me forward. make
Yeah, yeah,
the trailblazers. In any case, those are things that I've been finding is like being the
mm,
best for my journey in terms of exercise.
yeah, definitely. Yes, yeah. No, it's amazing. I love that mindset that you have now when you do your running races. It's a very good mindset to have. Definitely.
I appreciate
Very,
it.
very.
And
Mm.
a lot of this journey for you is also to kind of like bring people's attention towards that it is a big journey to be as an athlete supported. Could you maybe draw people's attention to how they can connect with you and learn more about supporting you as an athlete on your journey to Egypt, especially?
Well, my Instagram is just my name and surname. If you want to look me up there, you can just send me a
Yes.
DM.
Thankfully, that's going to
Um,
be on the screen with the recording.
awesome, awesome, awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
you can just send me a message there if you want to get contact with me and talk or say anything. So yeah, Egypt, I'm very blessed for everything that I've gotten so far. I got a few sponsors already, so I'm very, very blessed. I want to thank everyone, that helped me out in any way. Um, like, because I've been helped out in so many ways. I even got sponsored, like uh, a few wine bottles and like a weekend away because I'm having a dance this weekend. So then
Yes.
I'm gonna sell tickets there, and then at the end of the dance, the winner gets the two wine bottles, and the other winner gets a weekend away at like a nice place. So those stuff helps a lot, and also I even dressed up, I got like a banner that I put on myself and I went to
Yes.
the streets, like the robots, the red lights. And
Yes, yes, yes.
I stood there, and I asked people, if you want to support me, support me. And people are very nice in George and they supported me. I'm just think what else I did now. Well, yeah, and yeah, a lot of people helped me, even people that I'm not even familiar with, that just my parents know. They even helped us out a lot. Family helped me a lot. My grandparents, they sponsored shoes for me, running shoes, which is another topic we can talk about.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm very blessed. Yeah, it's very
I'm so
nice.
grateful. I'm so glad too that people are supporting you. And I know it's because also, you're putting yourself out there and it's like you are
Mm,
this on this active journey of like, drawing people into the awareness of this journey and growth path that you're on. I really look up to that since like,
mm,
I'm grateful that people are surrounding you and sponsoring you.
mm.
Because at the end of the day, this is something I reflected. This is the same as like I see as the role of mentors or coaching or like my team that's helping me to produce a lot of this
Yeah.
content that reaches the audience. At the end of the day, it doesn't come for free. These are people working in the background. My team
Mm, mm.
is just that at the end of the day, we just want to be there in the moment, enjoying what we're doing. We don't want to be in the background when we're exercising or competing, thinking like, do I have the right watch? Do I have the right swimming gear? Do I have the right cycling equipment? You just want to be in the moment, enjoying what you're made to do, your purpose and your passion, so that you can be the best version of yourself. And this is what support does. It frees us up to
Mm.
be the best of ourselves. And especially in this sense, as a fellow South African, I'm so proud of you. And it's like we
Mm.
want you to just be there. It's
Mm.
like feel that vibe. It's like you're supported, and cheering you
Yeah.
on from the sidelines or from back
Yeah.
back at home.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. Yes, it's an amazing, amazing journey to walk, the sport life, so many ups and downs and stuff. But yes, I enjoy it. So, so
Yeah.
nice.
And I know you'll come back stronger and you'll share with us even more of the things that
Mm,
you've learned, so that everyone else, like myself, it looks up to you as a quite amateur triathlete, to say
mm,
like, yes, I can continue growing, and thank you so much for sharing, so I can not face the same
mm,
challenges and obstacles that you faced,
mm,
on
mm.
on these journeys.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's how it is. Mm,
Yeah. Okay. Well,
mm.
thank you so much for your time. It's been amazing chatting with you. I'm looking forward
Awesome.
to following your journey, and I'm going to share definitely more details so people can get into contact with you with this recording. For everyone watching on
Awesome.
the YouTube channel, don't forget to like and subscribe, so that you can continuously see some more content like ours, and that we can support it be in this journey of sharing more free content, so that you can
Mm,
excel in terms of anything that you pursue in life, especially if you have a goal. It's like, I want to complete that marathon. I've never done it before. How do I
mm,
get there? These are the types of things to
mm,
let you know. It's like you can follow a varied path and you can experiment with many different things. At the end of the day, you'll find that your passion and purpose align with each other, and you can excel at these really really high levels and continuously enjoy it while you're doing that. I think that's my main
Mm,
takeaway that I've been
mm.
inspired by what you've shared with us, Joshua.